This is the reason why letting your Hemi 5.7 idle for a long period of time can destroy your lifters. And I'm going to be telling you guys why you shouldn't do that. Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you guys are having a great Thursday. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys, if you haven't already heard, there's plenty of time. This has been around for a long time. A lot of people talk about it on YouTube or whatsoever, this and that if you let your Hemi 5.7 idle for quite some time, it could really have an impact on your lifters. And why, the reason why most people kind of think that is, some people do believe that could happen, but then some people think it's like it's not going to happen to them. So I'm going to clarify the reason why you might want to rethink what you're saying, because what you think about that, because that could actually save you a couple thousands of stuff from if you actually listen and follow to not let your Hemi idle for quite some time, how that really could save your engine though. So I'm going to be giving you guys some of my key points, sharing with you guys some of my key points why you don't want to let your Hemi idle for quite some time. I know especially when you around where it's like freezing like me right now. There's winter and summertime in PA, obviously, and sometimes people want to come outside, warm up their car or have their car warming up and stuff. And ain't nothing wrong with doing it every now and then, but the fact that when you do it for a long time, it actually could really leave like a huge impact on your Hemi, and it could probably cost you later on down the line. So now, my number one reason, key point, is why idling can impact the lifters. So for the guys in the back who might think that, oh yeah, this never happened to me, or I've done it plenty of time, my truck still runs and sound the same. So here's the reason why. When your truck is idling, pretty much you're not really the truck obviously is not moving, so it's at low RPM, so your oil circulation is not really going to be as as really like high. It's going to be pretty much on the lower side. So that could affect the lifter, because obviously the lifters is not really having a much lube and stuff like that on there. It's not having too much lube, as when you're driving, that's when the oil is kind of like mixed up. It's like kind of, you picture it as if you like pour some oil in a gallon or something like that, and you just let it sit there. It's not going to move at all. The only time it's going to move if you pick it up and start shaking it. Pretty much that's how it is. That's how it is when your truck is idling. The oil is just like at standstill. It's not really like, the pressure is low. And then when you start driving it, giving it more RPM, that's when that oil mix up and lube the lifters and stuff like that. And that's when your lifter is more so happy. That's like, because it's getting lubed and stuff like that. So the next thing is your MDS system concern. When you having your truck sit like when you having your truck idle for quite like 30 minutes, an hour, around there for quite some time, that could really cause like your MDS system to get to the point where it's like kind of like confused, and because obviously the lift is starting to get stressed out, and that could really trigger some kind of problem, and you don't want that to happen. Yes, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and say these things I haven't done none of them, but my reason being I stopped doing this because I had a couple Rams before in the past. Like obviously I do every now and then. Like I start my truck up to let it warm up, but it's not gonna idle for more than like 30 minutes or an hour or something like that. Like them long idling for a long time could really have a huge impact, and you just don't want to do that. So think that over. And now you want to ask yourself, yeah, now I know this and that. Now you know to not be able to do that, and now you come to your senses. You're like, okay, I'm not gonna do that no more. So how do I really minimize my risk of this happening? What do I need to do from here on out? So obviously, to limit obviously you got to limit the option of you having your truck run for, well, idling for a long period of time. Obviously, that's the first thing you got to do. Don't let your truck idle for more than, I'll say on the safe side, 30 minutes to an hour. Don't let it idle for that long. Yes, you do got to warm your car up for, obviously when you get in a vehicle, you got to let it, when it's cold outside, got to let it idle for a little bit, for at least like 5 to 7 to 10 minutes. Let it idle, get to the right temperature before you start driving it, So yeah, that's not gonna really have any kind of impact if you do that like that. But it's a long periods of time of you letting your truck idle and stuff. That's when it becomes a problem. So the next thing that's gonna help you minimize that risk of you having a very having that issue is to get regular oil change. Your oil is something that lubricate your obviously your lifters and stuff like that. So you want to be able to have nice, fresh, clean oil. Make sure you run that full synthetic too. That's going to help you with that Hemi ticking sound. Like, if you do these things, like, it's definitely gonna help with the risk of you having lifter problems. Even if you have a high mileage truck or a low mileage truck, this is not strictly just for guys with high mileage truck. Even the guys with lower mileage truck, when you do this, I guarantee you, when you keep letting your truck idle for a long time, you're gonna have some lifters problem. Like, you definitely don't want to have that. So make sure you minimize your risk by these things I'm sharing with you. Also, you can go to the garage. When you go to the garage, you can get your MDS checked out by a professional. Make sure everything is nice and cool. And like I say, don't think that this can't happen to you, because anything can happen to anybody at the end of the day. So I'm just here to share with you guys, because I was once doing the same thing until I really started knowing, like, any kind of I'm not a certified mechanic, obviously, but any kind of certified mechanic, they tell you, there's plenty of video on YouTube that give you, tell you valid points that if you let your 570 Hemi ran idle for quite some time, when they are talking about idle, it's like, I'm looking at it like, it got to be over 30 minutes an hour. Like, if you're doing that constantly, it's definitely going to have some kind of issue on your truck at the end of the day with your lifters. So these are the things to really keep in mind if you want to have your truck running for quite some time. If you want to you don't want to have to deal with you spending a couple $1,000 to be able to do so, because it's easy for you to stop doing it than for you to really go through the whole headache of you knowing that your truck gonna start sounding kind of shitty, and also you're gonna start losing when your lifters start to go bad, or when you have your MDS, your MDS pretty much start having some kind of concern or issue, you start to lose power and stuff like that. You don't really have. That's when obviously your lifter is having some kind of issue too. That's when you really don't have that much power in your vehicle, and that's when it gets real concerning. And you don't want to go through the headache of doing that, because it's going to cost you a lot of money, and because you gotta go through a lot to do it. Like, if you guys see how the process is if you're a mechanic, good for you. Go ahead, do whatever you want, because you're gonna fix that itch, but it's still gonna be a pain in the ass to be able to do. So this is my reason why you should never let your Hemi idle for extended amount of time, meaning 30 minutes to an hour to be exact for me. 5-10 minutes is cool, because you do got to let your car, when it's freezing outside, you got to let your car, when you get in your car, you got to let it idle for a little bit to get to the temperature of your coolant stuff and stuff like that, to get to proper temperature and stuff like that. So yes, it's safe for you to do that, but the long periods is not safe. But make sure, if you guys find this information helpful, definitely give this video a thumbs up. And if you're here for your first time on the channel, subscribe. I got a 2014 Dodge Ram 4th gen, and I got a lot of things in store planned for this truck. Gonna be doing I'm talking about lowering, pretty much I'm gonna be doing performance, miles, everything on this truck within the next couple weeks, days, month. So definitely you want to subscribe, follow, and it's free of charge. Support my channel. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace.